Bill's getting a bunch of puppy love over there.
Yeah.
You took her toy.
Yeah, he did.
It's cold this morning, so we're sitting in here. I think it was about 38 this morning.
I want to ask the people about Idaho. And we watched a video this morning. It's kind of a commentary on YouTube. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but my grandparents lived in southern Idaho, and I think some of you people might be in Idaho or know more about it. I hadn't been up there since the 1960s when I traveled around a lot. Anyway, when I was up there, it was like a paradise. The southern part of the state was mostly farmland, but it was real pretty. Where my grandparents, they lived not far from Caldwell. And I went up in the north of Boise on a few road trips, just driving, and it was just real nice. Water, and trees, and mountains. But this commentary we was watching this morning, first off, it was a guy from California, so I don't know. But anyway, they said that especially the Coeur d'Alene area was just like a cesspool up there that's real trashy. And I've never been to that area. Back in the 60s, I didn't get up that far north. I think I got as far as Lowman, Idaho. And I kind of traveled around the Payette River a lot, fishing and driving. But I was curious to see if any of it, what he's saying was the truth. He talked like it just bad up there, and bad people, but it was real nice in the 60s when I was young and traveling around. And any of you people that are watching this, if you know anything or for sure about it, I'd be curious to find out. Let us know if somebody that is watching lives up there close to that area or has been through there in recent years. It surprised me if it's like what he said. But they were talking about the sunset laws in Idaho. Basically, I don't know much about that. But if anybody knows, I'd be interested in hearing about it. I always thought it was nice, and I always wanted to take Susie back up there if she's never been in our travels. But he just made it sound real bad. But you don't know, when people talk, you don't know what the truth is and what isn't. Well, if anybody out there knows for sure, I'd like to hear it.
I always thought Washington would be a pretty place to visit.
Yeah, I've heard bad things about, Seattle, that in recent years, Seattle's kind of getting overrun with trash and stuff, but I always thought Seattle was probably a pretty place too, or the state of Washington in general. Never been there. I've been to Oregon, but this was back 50, 60 years ago when I was in that part of the country just traveling. And it's kind of, everybody had a dream of going to California back then, and especially Okies.
What did Okies do?
The Okies went out there and infested that whole state.
It seeded California.
Yeah, they seeded the whole state there. So anybody in California is probably related to me.
Yeah.
You might want to do a DNA test.
Yeah. Back in the Depression, everybody. Yeah, everybody went to California.
And seeded that whole state.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a sister in Sacramento a long time ago that moved there when she was young. But I'd be curious to hear about Idaho if anybody knows for sure about the conditions in Idaho. I'm not going to move there. I'm pretty well stuck here in this old dirty desert.
Yeah.
But, I'm just curious because when I was there, like I say, it was just, nice fishing, hunting, a lot of open country, not many fences, a lot of open range, just in plenty of water. And the people were nice, to what I remember. You know, anybody there that I ran across, just courteous and respectful. And that at that time period is kind of a turbulent time in this country, like it is now. But
Yeah,
anybody-
what we see going on now was going on back in the
yeah, when we
60s.
when we were young, it's kind of the same
Homesteading
thing.
and
Just
bad cops and stuff like that.
and,
It's the same thing.
the 60s all over again, it
Yeah.
looks like. Or maybe worse, I don't know. But anyway, I'm mostly concerned, or interested in, if anybody knows what the real conditions are in Idaho. I think they were talking a lot about the northern part of the state. And I've never been up all the way north. But be curious to find out. So if anybody wants to comment, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You might get some California people going, what did you say about California?
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna ever go there, so.
And we do
I'd
hear,
like to see the redwoods, I guess.
we do hear a lot of people moving out of California.
It is. That's what I've seen, or what I've seen on the news. It's just hard to believe. You can't believe anything on the news. It's not news anymore. It's kind of like a gossip column or editorial. There's not any facts to most of the news.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear what, if anybody has any comments about Idaho that knows for sure. I always thought it was a nice place, nice area.
Yeah. I know their homesteading laws isn't very good.
You're against homesteaders?
Pretty well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know how their water catchment is there. I know I heard in Oregon that you can't catch rainwater.
Uh-oh, you're all in trouble.
Okay, that's enough for me.
Well, any law for rain catchment is crazy because the government don't have no right to say that because that's a God gift.
Yeah.
It's crazy that there can be a law on that.
Well, any water that you catch in it, you know, to store, you eventually use it and put it back in the ground.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't. It's not going to sit there for 1,000 years.
No, we're not
That's stupidity.
catching rain, just keeping it in the
These
tank.
people that want to catch their own rainwater and store it to put on their garden, and especially in this part of the country, I would like to do it, but we just can't afford one of those big tanks. I could do it with one of those big 3,000-gallon tanks, and I'd love to do that.
Yeah, and you help somebody put up tanks. Tell about that. That man has lots of water now.
North of here, actually outside of a little town called White Oaks. It's an old mining town, kind of up there in Billy the Kid country, what people call. But this fellow I know that's got property up there, an old place that he in and out of. He wanted to raise a garden, and he kind of had health issues, but he figured he could do that. But there's, just like down here, there's scarcity of water. But they do get a lot of downpours. You know, when we get rain, it's usually sideways. It really comes down.
It is.
Anyway, he had the money to do it, and he bought several, one at a time, but because I hold them up there for him and helped him. Bought several of these big black tanks, different sizes. He bought a couple of them that were 3,000 gallon, and I think one of them was 1,500 and one of them was 1,100. And he had a big, on the upper end of his place, he had a big, it was actually a railroad car tank that somebody put there years and years back, and there was a well close to it, a windmill. It was a 12,000 gallon tank. But anyway, I set him up for him and helped him and put guttering off of his roofs to empty into them. And I think he had, not counting that railroad tank, I think he had about, well, there had been 7,000 or 8,000 gallons of water storage for his garden. And it's not, at this point, it's not illegal in this state to do it. And a lot of people do it. It's been going on for years out here. Water storage, but they use it. They don't just keep it. They put it back in the ground for when it doesn't rain, when it's time to water your garden or your trees, fruit trees. A lot of people raise fruit trees out here. We have good warm weather. We just don't have the water. But I would be curious to see if there's anything illegal in Idaho about catching rainwater. I just want to see if things have changed that much in Idaho since back in the 50s and 60s.
And your grandparents had a farm out there too.
Well, they had a ranch, yeah, a farm, ranch, yeah. And then they finally, as they got older, they had to move back closer to town because they couldn't, they sold out. But I think they sold it in 61, 62, somewhere about in that. I was out there before they sold it. And it was in, like I say, the southern part of Idaho, and kind of prairie and rolling hills. It was real pretty country. It's just south of the Boise, a little way. If anybody's got any information about some of that stuff, I'd appreciate it. Any comments?
Yeah.
If there's any crazy regulations, just curious.
Yeah, I don't know where all them laws come from.
From stupid people.
I guess.
Nazis and fascists make a lot of.
Yeah.
They're good about making rules and regulations.
It's too many rules.
Some are necessary, a lot are not.
Yeah.
And we know some people that we watch occasionally in Utah. They're going through hard times now because they're fighting a bunch of regulations, trying to homestead.
Yeah. Laws against them.
Yeah, and from what I see, they're just trying to be a little bit independent and raise good food and raise their family in in a homesteading atmosphere, which I support them on that. Kids, it doesn't hurt kids to get out there and work, help in the garden.
Yeah.
And work around the place. You don't have to mistreat them, and I don't think these people are that type.
No, their kids are happy.
Yeah, the kids look happy and eager to help. That would really help this country if more people would do it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people homesteading now.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago,
It's a good thing.
it wasn't that many, but now there's a lot of people
Yeah.
homesteading and gardening, growing food.
You ought to try it in the desert.
It works in the desert.
Yeah.
You can change the desert into a food forest.
Yeah, a lot of digging.
Yeah, you did a lot of digging.
But anyway, that's mainly what I want to talk about was Idaho. And if anybody that lives up there is watching or knows people that live up there that really knows the truth about what's going on, I just hate to see it change. It was so nice back in the 50s and 60s up there.
Yeah, that's when that Mother Earth started putting out their magazine, and people were.
They started in 1969. We've got the original. Matter of fact, up in the attic somewhere, we got a box of Mother Earth News magazines, about 5 years worth, and we've got the very first one. It was black and white. It was just
And paper.
Like a pamphlet. It was made in like 1969, I believe, was when it was published. The Mother Earth News has got a lot of good. They did then had a lot of good information in it on homesteading.
They did.
They just do hard work. Anyway, I gotta drink coffee.
And stay warm. It was chilly this morning.
I got down for here. It's 38 degrees this morning.
Yeah.
It's been a cold May.
And I've never seen a cold May like this. You know.
Yeah, it's been cool, but I don't think it's been this cool.
Yeah. Usually it's pretty hot.
But we're fortunate that it's rough weather further east.
Yeah, we
People
are.
really having to go through some bad times, rough weather, and we've always been fortunate here. It just gets hot and windy sometimes. We have to go out there and put anchors on the horses. They blow away.
Yeah. And all the rain that everybody's getting, I'm kind of getting a little worried about the food situation. I've been hearing a lot of the crops are not being seeded because of Mississippi Valley and all that. The land has been underwater. But it's all over the place.
Better grow as much food as you can.
All right. I'm kind of concerned about that.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's, talking about it. So I need to plant lots of food.
She is. She's been planting and planting and planting. We usually can plant late because we do have cool springs. That's kind of typical out here in this desert, in this particular area. I can't say for all over the state, but in this particular area we have a lot of cool nights in May.
Yeah.
And that ground doesn't warm up as fast. But the latter part of May and in June is about the hottest times of the year out here. June especially. And so we can plant late, and we have a long growing season. We can plant, or we can grow until October, way into October.
Yeah, right up into November sometimes,
Sometimes.
About mid-November.
Yeah. Sometimes we get cold in latter part of October, but for the most part it's right up to November.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of stuff you have to plant late.
Well, even when we go out and sit in the yard to look at the stars, we have to take blankets because it gets cold at night.
Well, the desert just gets cold
Yeah.
At night, and it heats up during the day.
Yeah, when we lived in Oklahoma, at night it gets so humid and hot. You had to have air conditioning. Out here, you don't get so hot like that. You don't. In fact, usually we sleep with 2 or 3 blankets on the bed at night in the summer.
Well, we open the windows because I like the fresh air, and,
Yeah.
and one of our bedroom windows comes in from the sunroom where Susie's got all kinds of plants in there. We need all the fresh air we can get.
That air comes through that window. It just smells so good.
Yeah, it's all the greenery coming in from the window. If anybody ever thought about putting a sunroom, we got it on the south side, but we've got it up against bedroom windows.
And if you could put it by your bedroom window, then open that window up with all them plants in there,
That's good air.
It is. I think I fall asleep a lot faster because of that. It's like sleeping in the garden. It feels so good.
Yeah, I hear her sleeping too.
You snore. I don't snore. But anyway, well, we're just back here, yakking. I appreciate y'all coming by from out west Homestead. Everybody taking a nap.
Yeah, it's a little cool this morning.
Yes. I don't know where Tiger and Belle, they were just playing all over the place. Maybe they went outside. I think they wore Sunny out. But we're just sitting back here staying warm. Gonna go eat breakfast in a minute. We got everybody fed. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.